create a table of contents. To create a table of contents, you first must need to have used styles throughout your document. The table of contents will be based on the styles you've used. For example, heading, heading 2, heading 3. In this particular document, styles have been applied throughout. There are some text that's listed as a heading 1 and some that is a heading 2. Once we get there, we're going to position our pointer where we'd like to place the table of contents. Go to the References ribbon and click the drop-down arrow on Table of Contents. There are some built-in table of contents or automatic ones which are pretty easy to make. We'd simply find the one we like and click on it. And that inserts our table of contents. In this case, though, we see that this has a lot. The table of contents is several pages long because we have so many different headings we've used. We'd like to use only the heading number 1 for our table of contents. When I click on the table of contents box, a box appears around it with a drop-down arrow, and I can choose Remove Table of Contents. Instead of using the built-in style, we're going to create our own. Again, on the Ribbon tab, we'll click the drop-down on the Table of Contents button and choose Insert Table of Contents. This opens up a dialog box which allows us to manually create the style that we'd like. As we look here, we're going to notice that it's asking how many levels we'd like to have, and in this case it states 3 levels. However, we want just heading 1 level. So we'll click down so it's just 1 level. We also can choose, do we want the page numbers aligned all the way over to the right or right next to the heading? Over to the right usually looks best. And do we want a dot that gives a leader from the heading name to the page number? There are other options as well that you certainly may want to look at, including the ability to use additional styles. Any style you've had you can use, but in this case it's easier if you use one that is already set up to be one of the headings. You also can click Modify, and this would be the actual font. This is the style of the table of contents, so the font and format and all of which is used there. And as you click through, you can see different types of setups. Perhaps we'll use style 2, which has the italics. Once we've got it set up how we want, we simply click OK, and the table of contents appears as we wanted with the page numbers already in place. What's nice about this is if we later make changes to this, let's say for example we add in something so that this course overview is no longer on page 4, but we add in a couple of pages and now course overview is on page 6. We can go back to our table of contents. Once you've created a table of contents, if you make changes to the document, it's very easy to update the table of contents so the page numbers stay correct. For example, let's say we move some of these sections around. Using the technique we looked at earlier by clicking on the View menu, the View ribbon, and choosing Navigation Pane, let's say that we want to move the section on Increase Your Confidence to after the initial presentation. So we're clicking on that and dragging and dropping it down to here. This all changes around in order here so that now initial presentation comes before Increasing Your Confidence. We'll go back up to the top of the document to our table of contents. Now, it's not changed automatically. What we need to do is select this, right-click, and choose Update Field. And we're going to choose Update Page Numbers Only. We'll see that that updated so that now initial presentation comes on page 6 and Increase Your Confidence on page 7, but the order isn't updated. If we right click and choose Update Field and update the entire table, now it's up to date. Finally, once you've created your table of contents, you can make changes to it. So for example, this day 1 and day 2, let's say I don't want that in the table of contents. That heading was used, but they're both on the same page and it's not crucial to my table of contents. I can simply highlight those and delete them. The rest of the table of contents still works correctly as we'd like it to be. And I'll highlight this one. Getting the table of contents to look the way I'd like it to look.